Okay, I need to stay here for a second because what just came through when I connected with your energy is not something I'm going to rush past. There's something specific happening around you right now, something that involves another person. And the thing that makes it stand out, the thing that gave me pause when I first felt it, is the quality of what this person carries when they think about you, because they think about a future. Not a moment, not a phase, not something casual that exists only in the present tense, a future, actual, concrete, built together future. And the thing that's interesting, the thing that I feel needs to be said directly before anything else is that the age difference between you and this person, it doesn't factor into that vision the way you might think it does, or the way other people might expect it to. For them, it's simply not the obstacle it appears to be from the outside. And I want to unpack that because there's a lot here, a lot of layers, a lot of specific energy that I feel coming through for you right now that needs to be delivered carefully and completely. So stay with me all the way through because this reading, it's for you in a very specific way. It arrived for you today for a reason. Let me start with what I'm noticing about this person, about how they experience you, because understanding how you land in someone else's reality is sometimes the most important information available, especially when that person has been carrying something about you that they haven't fully said out loud yet. This person sees you. And I don't mean they see your surface. I don't mean they find you attractive or interesting in the way that any passing connection might. I mean they see the actual you, the version underneath the version you present, the one with the depth and the complexity and the particular way of moving through the world that not everyone notices, and the people who do notice tend to remember. That's the version they see, and it's the version they can't stop thinking about. There's a quality to how they describe you when they think about you, even in their own private thoughts, a quality of solidity, of this person is real in a way that most people aren't, of this person operates from a place of genuine self-knowledge that I haven't encountered very often. And that solidity, that realness, that this is actually who they are quality, it doesn't feel contingent on age to them. It doesn't feel like something that belongs to a particular generation or life stage. It feels like character, and character is character. It doesn't have a birth year. Does that resonate? Have you felt that this person engages with you differently than most? Like they're actually registering you rather than just interacting with a surface? Tell me in the comments, because that's exactly what I'm picking up, and I want to know if you felt it too. Now, the age difference, because I'm not going to avoid it. It's in the title of this reading and it's present in the energy, and it deserves to be addressed honestly rather than glossed over with spiritual bypassing. There is an age difference between you and this person, and that age difference exists in the real world with real social weight, with real opinions attached to it from people around you, with real questions about compatibility and life stage and what makes sense on paper. And I feel that one or both of you has been holding some version of that concern. Some version of the question that asks, is this realistic? Is this something that can actually work? Or is this just a feeling that doesn't have a practical future attached to it? But here's what I also feel. What I feel from this person specifically, when they look at you, when they imagine their life with you in it, when they let themselves go to the place of actually picturing a future together, the age difference is not the loudest thing in the room. It's not the thing that dominates the vision. The thing that dominates the vision is you, your presence, what you bring, what it feels like to be in your orbit, what the texture of a shared life with you might actually feel like day to day in the small moments that accumulate into a life. And that vision, it's compelling enough to override the noise, compelling enough to make the practical concerns feel navigable rather than prohibitive. Compelling enough that this person has arrived at something I feel very clearly in their energy, a kind of quiet, settled, I've thought about this from every angle and I still come back to the same answer, certainty. That answer is yes. Yes to you, yes to this, yes to whatever it requires to make the thing that exists between you into something real and lasting and not just potential. Let me go into what's been happening inside this person, because there's a whole internal landscape here that I'm being pulled into, and I want to describe it as specifically as I can. They've been doing something that people do when they're serious about something, when something has moved past the phase of feeling and into the phase of actual consideration. They've been thinking about it practically, not just emotionally, not just in the warm, this feels good way of early connection. In the real, what would this actually look like? How would this actually work way of someone who is not entertaining a fantasy, but examining a genuine possibility. And what's interesting is what that examination has produced in them. Because when you take something you feel strongly about and subject it to practical scrutiny, usually one of two things happens. Either the scrutiny reveals that the feeling was mostly projection and the reality is less compelling than the fantasy, or the scrutiny confirms the feeling, makes it more solid, more specific, more rooted in actual understanding rather than just emotional momentum. For this person, it's been the second thing. The more they think about it practically, the more certain they become. The more they examine it from the angles that are supposed to give them pause, the more they find themselves not pausing, finding answers instead, finding their own internal objections dissolving when held up against the specific reality of who you are and what exists between you. That's not nothing. That's actually everything, because it means what they feel isn't just feeling. It's been stress tested. It's been through the examination that serious things go through, and it came out the other side still intact, still certain, still pointing in your direction. Have you been sensing something shifting in this person, a quality of something settling, like they've arrived somewhere internally after a period of working something out? Drop a comment, because I feel that arrived energy so specifically right now. There's something I want to name about the age difference specifically, um, because I feel like there's a narrative around it that needs to be challenged. A story that might be running in your head or in the heads of people around you that frames the age gap as the primary thing to be concerned about, as the detail that needs to be overcome or explained or justified before the connection can be taken seriously. I want to offer a different frame. What if the age difference is not a problem to be solved, but a dimension of the connection that carries its own specific gift? Because what I feel between you and this person is a quality of complementarity that has something to do with exactly where each of you is in your respective journeys. Something about the specific combination of your different vantage points, your different accumulations of experience, the way each of you brings something the other genuinely needs and doesn't find easily elsewhere. This isn't a connection where one person is simply older and one is simply younger and those are the only relevant facts. This is a connection where two people with different amounts of time behind them have arrived at a place of genuine meeting, genuine recognition, The kind that doesn't happen because of age or despite it, but simply happens because of who two people are when they're in each other's presence. And the person who is supposed to decide whether that meeting is valid is not anyone looking at it from the outside. It's you and this person, the two people actually inside it. And one of them, this person who keeps coming up in your energy, has already decided. Let me talk about what this person actually sees when they look at your future together, because I feel it specifically, and I think you need to hear the details of it. They see stability, not the boring kind, the kind that comes from being with someone who knows who they are, who operates from a consistent internal compass, who doesn't need to be managed or handled or carefully approached depending on the day, the kind of stability that actually enables freedom rather than constraining it. Because when the ground beneath a relationship is solid, both people can be more fully themselves, can take more risks, can be more honest. And this person, they're drawn to that stability in a way that tells me they haven't always had it, that they know from experience what its absence costs. They see growth. They see the version of themselves that exists in proximity to you as more developed, more honest, more capable, more willing to face the things they've been avoiding facing. Because something about how you engage with the world, the standard you hold, the way you show up, creates a kind of gentle pressure toward becoming more, not because you demand it, because being around someone who is genuinely, authentically, fully themselves tends to inspire the same in others, and they see partnership, real partnership, the kind built on mutual respect and genuine admiration and the specific daily choice to keep choosing each other. They have a picture of what that looks like with you. And it's detailed. It's specific. It has the texture of something imagined with real investment rather than something fantasized about lazily. That picture is what's driving everything I'm about to tell you. Because something is moving, something is shifting in how this person is relating to all of this, to the feelings, to the vision, to the question of what to do about it. There's been a phase of holding, of sitting with this privately, of being very certain internally while remaining relatively contained externally, of feeling the full weight of what they feel without bringing it into the space between you in a way that makes it undeniable. And that phase, I feel it coming to an end, not because they ran out of reasons to hold back, but because they ran out of reasons that feel sufficient, because the cost of continuing to hold has started to exceed the cost of the risk. Because whatever they stand to lose by saying something has started to feel less significant than what they're already losing every day. There's an urgency that's developing. A sense of time having a texture to it that it didn't used to have, of moments with you feeling precious in a way that makes their absence feel like waste, of the gap between what's true and what's been said becoming uncomfortable in a way that's no longer manageable through distraction or patience or telling themselves not yet. Not yet is ending. Something is approaching, a moment, a conversation, a decision to stop holding the vision privately and bring it into the actual world where you can both stand in it. Now I need to say something to you directly because I feel something in your energy that I don't want to skip past. You've had doubts about this, not about your feelings necessarily, about whether your feelings are appropriate, whether wanting what you want makes sense given everything around it, whether the age difference is something you should be factoring more heavily into how seriously you take what exists between you, whether the opinions of other people, the raised eyebrows, the questions, the assumptions about what this is or isn't should be influencing how you allow yourself to feel. And there's a version of you that has been managing your own heart around this, keeping a certain distance from your own feelings, because fully feeling them would mean wanting something that isn't simple. That comes with complications. That requires a willingness to not care what this simplifying narrative from the outside says about it. Here's what I want to say to that version of you. The feelings you have are not inappropriate. They're not a phase. They're not something that needs to be explained or justified before they're allowed to be real. They're real because you feel them. Full stop. And the person on the other side of this, the one who sees a future with you despite the age difference, despite the noise, despite everything that could be used as an argument against it, they've arrived at the same conclusion through their own examination on their own timeline, independently of anything you've told them or shown them explicitly. They want this, you want this. And what two people want when they're both being honest matters more than what the situation looks like from a comfortable external distance. There's a spiritual dimension to this that I feel I need to address because it keeps coming through and I don't want to ignore it. Some connections arrive with a particular quality of recognition that doesn't fully make sense through the ordinary framework of how people meet and why they matter to each other. A sense of having known this person before in some way that can't be located in the current biography. A sense that the feeling is older than the circumstances that produced it. That something between you was already established somewhere before the meeting happened in this life. I feel that quality in this connection. Very specifically, the age difference in this light is not the defining feature. It's almost incidental, a detail of the surface story that has very little to do with the deeper story. The deeper story is about two souls with a genuine recognition of each other, two people who found each other at exactly the right time in exactly the right form, not despite the circumstances, because of them. Because this specific version of the meeting, this specific configuration, is what allowed the recognition to happen. The universe is not careless with these things. It doesn't create real recognition between people and then leave it without a path forward. It creates the recognition and the path simultaneously. And the path forward from this recognition is what this person is preparing to walk toward with you, if you're willing to walk it too. Let me tell you what's needed from you in this, because this reading isn't just about what's coming toward you, it's about who you need to be in order to receive it. The first thing is clarity about what you actually want, not the edited version, not the version that accounts for other people's comfort with the situation. What you actually want, what your gut says when you let it speak without the filtering, because that clarity is what allows everything else to align properly. You can't navigate towards something real while being unclear about whether you actually want it. The second thing is the willingness to let this be what it is, without constantly referencing how unusual it might look to people who don't understand it, without letting the age difference become the thing you apologize for or explain away or preemptively manage other people's reactions to. What exists between you deserves to be treated as what it is, not as a footnote to a conversation about practicalities. And the third thing, trust this person's vision. They've looked at this from every angle. They've examined it honestly. They've held it up to scrutiny and watched it remain intact. Their certainty is not naivety. It is not infatuation that hasn't been tested. It's considered deliberate. This is what I actually want, certainty. And that kind of certainty from Someone who has clearly done the internal work to arrive at it deserves to be trusted. Here's what I want to leave you with, because I feel like it's the heart of everything this reading has been building toward. Someone sees a future with you, not despite who you are, not in spite of the circumstances, because of you, because of the specific, irreplaceable, nobody else is this person quality of who you are when you're actually being yourself. And the age difference, the thing that the external world might focus on as the primary feature of this story, is the least interesting thing about it to the person living it. What's interesting to them is you, the way you think, the way you see the world, the way you make them feel when they're in your presence, the way their life looks different, better, more possible, more honest, more alive when they imagine you in it. That vision is real. It's been built carefully and privately over a significant period of time. And it's looking for an opening, looking for the moment where it can move from private to actual, from imagined to built. You are the opening. You are the one who gets to decide whether what this person has been carrying alone gets to become something shared, something real, something that exists in the actual world rather than only in the interior of someone who has been loving you quietly for longer than you've fully known. The age difference doesn't define this. You define this, both of you, by what you're willing to choose, by what you're willing to let be real, by whether you can set down the outside noise long enough to hear what's actually true between you. What's actually true is this: someone sees a future with you, a real one, a chosen one, a "this is what I want and I'm certain of it" one. The only question left is whether you're going to let yourself want it back